Good morning, world, and God bless. Uh, so I wanted to start this podcast um, off. Sorry about that. I was getting a little distracted. It's April 16th, 2025. Hope you guys filed your taxes yesterday. Hopefully, you guys got all your financial and things taken care of. What I would like to mention is, as I've been going through my time, in the wilderness, I have realized, I'm actually in the wilderness. As I'm, you know, doing this podcast to the world and how I'm expressing my love for each and every one of you on the reasons why we need to start becoming more obedient to God and things like that. Uh, you know, Me personally, I've been having so much fear. Something has, overridden my life. Well, not something. God has overridden my life to the point where, uh, you know, I'm seeking righteousness. The more and more I listen to godly music or gospel, that does something to my soul and spirit. As I'm, uh, you know, like just scrolling on YouTube or because I don't even use social media much anymore. But as I'm like scrolling through YouTube or this and that, I'm seeing how you know, God is revealing the answers to me. The people that He's connecting me with, the people that He's putting me in touch with, the podcast that I'm listening to, the knowledge that I can actually share with people is my testimony. And this is why I feel like I have to get it out there to the world. One part is I am truly sorry that I may have said some things that may have offended people in my previous podcast. But I would like to truly say I apologize and I hope you can forgive me. But what I'm trying to get to is that I understand in my wilderness of in my season of the wilderness, I do understand that I have to be careful upon the things that I say. I can't just say anything I want to say anymore because I have to truly discern it. I have to truly, understand it. I have to truly, give knowledge and incitement, not only for myself, but as I'm doing it for myself, in order for me to help other people realize the areas that they're doing wrong in their life, I have to be able to come with my full commitment and my testimony. That's the whole purpose of this. I am not ashamed. I'm not too prideful. I'm not too boastful. I'm not scared. I'm not worried about what other people think of me. This is something God wants me to do. As I'm walking to stand more upright, like I just did in my, just now, like that's a literal example. As I'm trying to stand upright, I have to be more, I have to be careful of the things I say. So, with that being said, I know that I need to just slow down a little bit. That's why it's been a couple of days since I did my podcast. Because I did want to, have dialect and dialogue with like Nick Jones and Marcus Rogers and things like that, John Bevere, Creflo Dollar. Supposedly he's part of my family. He was married to my aunt. Well, sorry, excuse me, God. Hi- his okay, my uncle Larry was married to my aunt Lee. So my aunt Lee is my biological aunt. And then she married uh, Larry Dollar, and Larry Dollar ended up being, I think Creflo is his cousin. I don't think it's his brother, but I mean, so that in itself also is beautiful because that's just how God works. He's so beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, but yeah, and so I'm not seeking praise or seeking, anything but trying to find the Lord in others as well. So if people can find the Lord in me and God in me and Jesus in me, then, why shouldn't I be trying to find God and Jesus in others, especially others that are well more knowledgeable than I am? The fact that I have such a hunger for this is great, and the fact that I'm walking with this is wonderful. But I also don't want to be misled, and then eventually thrown into the lake of fire if I get it wrong. So that's where, in an area in our lives where we have to just make sure we're not doing things wrong. We're discerning, we're catching the things that we need to catch. We're and there's a lot of power in like so lately, you know, I've been praying and trying to become more, or yeah, trying to become more holier. And I've been praying and fasting and praying and fasting and fasting and praying. And, like the churches, like I think God is really coming, or is Jesus in his second coming is really, really coming soon. Like, I mean, I understand John has this discernment that he's been saying about the next 50 years, but I think it's even sooner. And I don't want that to be blasphemous, God. So please, I ask for a prayer of knowledge and enlightenment and wisdom, and as well as for my followers and the people that listen. Like have an easy ear to try to listen and understand that I'm not trying to steer them wrong. I only want the best for them. Um, so uh, as we before we start this podcast here, it's kind of going to be a short one, so I got to get into it, got to get to work, things like that. But I wanted to make sure I get on here and spread the word. But before I get into this podcast here, it's about a 40-minute video from John Bevere about the big revival that's happening. Now, the big revival already actually just happened. Well, sorry, excuse me. Sorry, God, excuse me. So, what I meant by that is there is so the churches uh you know the churches met, and they've already thrown out there. This is a big one, guys. This is a big one, okay? So the churches have said that they are already under the construction of the third temple. um and I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that's fine to, you know, I'm kind of getting a little discernment now that maybe I should talk about this a little bit more. Uh, I mean, I even said to myself, you know, man, if the world saw Jesus coming right now, what would you do? Everybody in the comments, uh, I would love for everybody to message me, personally on the comments, text, do whatever you got. I would love to know exactly what you guys would do if